Okay, so let me show you a little bit about how Mahjong Garden works. I don't know if you, sorry, it's gonna be loud. Exciting. So just a couple really basic things to show you. First of all, if it's running really slowly, this is the VFX thing that I just clicked on the gear. That's the video effects. Turning that off will help it load a little bit better. Also, timer is that timer that you see beneath the gear, so it tells you how long you've been playing. I just keep that off because it's really annoying to me, to be honest. I just don't like it as much. So how to play, it is basically just like Quinn's Aquarium, you are matching like tiles to like. The bigger difference is in this one you also want to try and match identical season and flower tiles. I'll show you a little bit about those in a minute, but that's basically all there is to it. So the smartest way to go is to start on easy mode, but I'll just show you the other modes. Normal mode looks like this. You can see already the difference is down here at the bottom. And hard mode. Hard mode probably looks familiar to you if you've played Quinn's because you see there's only one tile slot. That's the difference. That's what these things at the bottom are. Those are just tile holders. So on easy mode, which again is the one that I really think you should be playing on, that just means that you can put a tile there and not mess with it. So let's just say I want to make, I'm looking for matches to make. Let me match a trident first here just for the heck of it. Let's say I don't see an immediate match for this Aladdin lamp, but I want to make another match relating to that, like behind it there are these other ones. For whatever reason, let's just say you don't want to have that tile on the board, but you want to not just get rid of it. You're just putting it in the holder, and you don't have to do anything with this tile right now. It can just sit there. So that means I can just match other tiles. So instead what I'm going to do is just match the feathers. So I'm matching the feather, and that means I made a match. No matter what, clicking a tile makes it go into the holder. And as long as you have a spot in the holder, you can make a match. Now right now I have tiles in here. This means that whatever one I click next has to be one of these. It has to be the mushrooms, the blind mouse, or the Aladdin's lamp. And if I can't make any of these matches, it's going to give me an error. So let's try and click the oyster. Nope, can't do that. Gotta be one of these three. Okay, this guy. I'm gonna click him and go. But that means these two can still just sit here. If I want to make other matches, I can do that. So if I want to match the oyster, I can do that. Or if I want to get rid of, let's get rid of the toadstools then. I can match that and go. So that's seriously all it is. If you see tiles that have more than one available match, like let's say for example I want to match this Aladdin lamp, but that happened to be that a bunch of them, like there were two more open, that doesn't matter. It just means you just need to make whatever available match is there. Sometimes if there's more than one tile that looks like that that's open, it just means there may be a better or more prudent match. So what you want to think about is, if I have more than one option to make a match, what frees up the most amount of matches for me later on? So that should be your focus mainly. So in terms of the season thing, I want to show you down here. This is called the season wheel, and this is just telling you what the background is going to look like. You don't really mess with the challenges as much, but lots of times when we have a challenge, it'll say something like, make complete a season wheel, make all seasons light up X number of times. So let's make the season wheel light up on one part. This is autumn. I'm going to match the autumn tiles. The background changes, and you can see I lit up autumn on the season wheel. So you don't have to match season to season. If you really wanted to just match summer to spring or autumn to winter or whatever you wanted to do, you can do that. It just won't change the background. So it's purely I want to give myself more of a challenge thing, but if you just want to make it easy on yourself, feel free to match however you want to with that. It also mentioned at the how to match identical season or flower tiles. The flower tiles are orchid, mum, plum, bamboo. So these guys, you can also, if you want to, you can match them like that. As long as it's a flower matches. But you can also just try and go for a straight plum to plum match. And that's obviously just making it a little bit harder for yourself, giving yourself more of a challenge if you want. So look, in doing that, I freed up the spring tile. So I'm going to do that. And now I'm going to change it to spring in the back. That lights up that season tile on the wheel, and that's it. So with these other things, the undo thing obviously only matters if you have made a move you want to go back to, and you can use that as many times as you want, because unlike Quinn's Aquarium, you don't have to pay in this game. You can do however you want to do. And then hint will just tell you, okay, well, here's the most available match. Hitting show all shows you all the available tiles that you could be matching together. So it's just, again, if these tiles are a little hard on the eyes for you, if you don't really want to think as much, there you go. You can just go that way. Tiles, that's just picking a different tile set if you want. If you think that some of these are a little difficult on the eyes, I would probably say to go with the gem set. Gems are a little bit easier to parse. They're kind of big and bright. We'll put in an accessibility one that's just numbers eventually, but that's not there just yet. I honestly like the Fairy Tales one, but there are a couple different sets. And there's one with Claire Hart. You can match Claire. The other option is selecting a puzzle set. So this is something I haven't talked about yet, but all of them right now, I think you saw at the beginning it was saying, I think You're the Rat or something like that. But all of the current tile sets are just animal. You can do temple if you want to instead. Obviously that's going to change my whole layout. Oh, it's the ox. But as I think you probably guessed, this is the Chinese zodiac. So these are all the animals in that zodiac. And what you're doing here is as you complete a puzzle, it's lighting up that animal in the zodiac. So I actually already did the Year of the Rat. That's why he's lit up. And now I'm working on the ox. And when I complete the ox puzzle, it'll light him up. And then you're just lighting all of these guys up. And once you lit up a full one of them, this is what happens. You have a little dragon up here. He won't appear until the first time you completed a full zodiac. So if you're looking at your screen and wondering why you don't see it, that's why. This is Drake. Drake, every time you complete a full zodiac, his number will go up. At certain intervals, the picture of Drake will change, and you'll just get to see him as he grows up. So it's just like a cute little thing to tie the thing together. It's not really something you have to care about if you don't want to. This is actually from the old game. If you played this game before we made an HD version, you can see how old your dragon was before we ported it over. And my old dragon was 10 years old, which is actually pretty young. A lot of our other players who played this game had dragons that were hundreds and hundreds of years old. So they really cared about that. That's why we added it back in. But that's what that's about up top there. And again, you don't have to care about this if you don't want to. All it's doing is telling you what shape your tiles are going to be in. I'm going to go back to animal because I honestly prefer the animal setup. So yeah, again, like I said, these are just holders. You do not at any point have to match 3 tiles together. All you have to do is match one tile to another, no matter how many versions of that tile you see on the board. So if, let's say, you see lots of these crystal balls, doesn't matter. All you need to do to make a match is just match 2 of them together. So let me see. Oh yeah, stack them. I'm going to match the stack them guys. There you go. And that's it. So if you want to look at the other difficulties, again, the harder it gets, the fewer of these tile holders there are, because this just gives you the ability to kind of set a tile aside and use it later. So that's why it exists, and I'm sorry if it's a little bit confusing, but that's what that's about. So okay, that's it. I'm done.